Welcome back to Fatal Crime Confessions. We are a weekly true crime podcast where we discuss the evil, the sinful, and the inhumane. I'm your host, Ray Monique.
And I'm your co-host, Michael Banks.
Before we get into today's episode, I just want to remind you guys that we do have a Patreon, and Patreon is a monthly membership where you can get exclusive additional contents each month. We have the evil, the sinful, and the inhumane tier. It ranges from $5 to $25. And we already have an episode up. It is the Jeepers Creepers episode. It is about the true story of Jeepers Creepers.
The ugliest couple in America.
That's not nice. His victim is his wife.
I know.
Oh my goodness. And also a reminder, if you're interested in looking at any cases, links, are looking at the cases, the links, the pictures from these cases that we discuss, head over to fatalcrimeconfessions.com and click on the episode tab, and then it will provide you with all the information that we present in each episode. And now we have a disclaimer. If you have an issue with race-related topics, if you have the issue with possible excessive use of the word nigga, this is not the episode for you. We are not going to hold back. This is going to be our real emotions. If you are wearing headphones, I suggest you turn the volume down because it's going to get real loud real quick.
What's this episode about? You making this disclaimer?
The ruthless and ridiculous murder of Botham Jean.
Oh no! Oh, this is about to be an interesting one right here.
Yes, I'm going to say it again. If you have an issue with race-related topics, this is not the episode for you.
Not at all.
We are going to be ruthless and brutally honest. If you don't know, now you know. I am a graduating senior at Howard University, and I am a minor in administration of justice. So I take stuff like this very personally. If you're afraid for my brutal honesty, I don't want to hear no comments. Because I gave y'all an extensive warning.
Disclaimer.
So, let's get right into this episode. As I stated earlier, this case is about the murder of Botham Jean, which took place in Texas. I'm going to go through a sequential list of how everything happened. So everything's going to be broken down by day. I don't want to hear I missed the day or nothing like that. I did extensive research because I wanted to make sure I had everything accurate. This is a high-profile case, but surprisingly, it was not treated as a high-profile case. I didn't even know the case, the trial was going on until we started hearing the foolishness about the judge. But we're not going to get into that right now. And I'm going to just start the story. On September 6, 2018, there was a young man by the name of Botham Jean. He was an accountant at the international auditing firm at Princeton Waterhouse Coopers. He was in his apartment eating ice cream when police officer Amber Guyger, who had just ended a 13-and-a-half-hour shift as a Dallas police officer by helping SWAT team arrest 3 suspects of a robbery, enters through his unlocked door and fatally shoots him in the chest after mistaking him for a burglar. Moments after the shooting, Geiger realized she is in the wrong apartment. So let's break this down into different pieces.
So, I mean, first thing I got to say is, I don't care how long you've been away from home or what you've been doing that entire day. You know what your house look like. Like, There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, you know how you left your home. You know how your home smell, how it feel, all that when
Forget
you first
that. Me and you have
walk
had.
in. So how you even just assume like, oh, he in the wrong house or he breaking into my house? No, you in the.
Forget that. Me and you have had this conversation numerous times. The way a man apartment look and the way a female's apartment look is very
Totally
different. And we know it. Even if you are the most metrosexual man on the planet, you can still tell the difference of decor when you walk into an apartment. The most a man is going to have in his apartment is a couch, one chair, maybe a dining table, one plate, one fork, one spoon, one cup.
A TV and a PlayStation.
That is it. We'll be surprised if there's even sheets on the bed. So you know the difference between two genders' apartments. And I personally looked up the apartment to look at the layouts of the apartments. And the layouts are so different. Like, because they only have like one bedroom and 2-bedroom apartments in that building.
Mm-hmm.
In every layout, the kitchen is in a different position.
Oh.
So the likelihood of your kitchen being placed in the same position as his kitchen is very low. Because it was either the kitchen was on the front right-hand side, the front left-hand side, the middle of the left side, in the middle of the wall on the right-hand side, on the far left in the back, or the far right in the back. Mm-hmm. Like, there are so many different placements. And the kitchen, it was the first thing you see in every layout. So you cannot tell me you did not know that you're in the wrong apartment.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that apartment had numbers on it. How can you not know if your apartment 103, I don't care, you can be looking up or looking down, whatever. You know, like,
there are still drunk people that are able to get to the right apartment. So I don't want to hear, I got off a 13.5-hour shift.
Yeah.
Keep your white tears to yourself. Because there are doctors that work longer shifts than that, and I bet they don't end up in the wrong apartment.
Nope.
And why was your first choice to pull your gun? You had a taser on you. First of all, as a woman, and if I was so, like, not in the right state of mind as she claims to be, I'm not entering the apartment. I'm walking right back out. And if you're a cop, call backup.
Yeah, I'm assessing the situation. If I think, like, oh, somebody's in my apartment, even though I checked that the door's unlocked, why you didn't, like, at least, like, you looked up, I'm pretty sure you saw a number or something on the door.
And then people were confused because how is the door unlocked? It's a slam locked door. So then again, how did you get in his apartment? And another thing that didn't make sense to me, if you thought he was a burglar, why is he sitting down eating ice cream? I don't know burglars that sit down and eat ice cream.
Exactly.
They tearing the place apart. They got a mask on. Like, I don't understand. September 9th, 2018, an arrest warrant is issued for Geiger. She's charged with the manslaughter of Botham Jean. She was released on a $300,000 bond and put on administrative leave from her job. Geiger, according to an arrest warrant affidavit, told investigators she arrived home from work about 10 p.m. and mistakenly parked her pickup truck on the 4th floor of the building instead of the 3rd floor, which corresponded to her apartment. She claimed she then walked down a hallway to an apartment she thought was hers. But when she inserted the key, she found the door was slightly ajar. As she entered the apartment, she found someone inside and saw a large silhouette in the nearly completely darkened apartment that she thought was a burglar. She fired twice after telling the person she believed to be an intruder to show his or her hands, authorities say.
I mean, obviously you gonna see a silhouette of somebody coming, cause obviously he hears somebody coming into his house. He thinking somebody breaking into his house now. That's ridiculous, man.
So I wanted to address the whole parking on the wrong floor. You know when you drove too long in a parking garage, you're like, hold on, wait, this don't seem right.
And I'm pretty sure it's say first, second, third floor.
Exactly. And as I'm addressed later, one of the key witnesses said, yeah, I've done that before. I've accidentally went up to Geiger's floor. However, the decor on each floor is different. That's how he realized he was on the wrong floor. When he
I didn't know that.
When he entered the fourth floor, there's a vase on that floor that his floor does not have. So that's how he knew he was on the wrong floor. So you telling me the first key of difference from floors wasn't a key that you was on the wrong one? Once again, how her story makes absolutely no sense. And people in that apartment building recorded themselves like opening the door and letting it just release on its own, and it slam locks. How was the door slightly ajar? Because in the videos, it looked like the doors from my old apartment. There's no slightly ajarring anything. Their joint gonna close and lock on its own.
I just think the whole story is bullshit.
September 10th, 2018. In an affidavit released on Monday, September 10th, Geiger claims Botham ignored her commands, blamed the victim for his own death. Also, her story changes. The door went from being locked to unlocked. Also, a witness comes forward saying they heard a woman's voice saying, "Let me in," and a man's voice saying, "Oh my God, why did you do that?" right after the sound of a bullet.
Wow.
Why you gotta ask to be let into your own place? That don't make sense.
Man.
If it's your place, what you asking for permission
this
for?
This story is bullshit, and it's just ridiculous about what happened.
September 11, 2018. Lee Merritt, an attorney for Botham's family, calls Geiger's story highly implausible. Dallas County District Attorney Faith Johnson says she has not ruled out a murder indictment. On Tuesday, September 11th, it was reported that Geiger now claimed Botham's door was ajar. A resident proved it was impossible for the doors at the complex to be ajar. So, your case is falling apart.
It's not adding up, B.
Your story is falling apart.
It is not adding up.
September 13, 2018. Hundreds of friends, loved ones, and work colleagues pack Botham's funeral at the Greenville Avenue Church of Christ in the Dallas suburb of Richardson. Several busloads of students and former classmates of Jean from Harding University, a Christian liberal arts college in Arkansas, where he graduated in 2016, also attended the service. This is a quote. "The sounds of gunshots did not have the resonance to be heard on our small island, but their impact was of nuclear proportions." This is a quote from Jean's uncle, Ignatius Jean, who traveled from St. Lucia to visit his funeral, because that's where his family is from. On the day of Botham's funeral, the Dallas police distinguishedly released an affidavit saying that there were small traces of marijuana found in his apartment. Lee Merritt, an attorney for Jean's family, said, "I think it's unfortunate that law enforcement began to immediately criminalize the victim. In this case, someone who was clearly the victim, there was absolutely no bearing on the fact that he was shot in his home. What we got to do with it? He was in his house."
Exactly. What you finding weed have to do? Was he selling her weed and she killed him because he tried to short him or something? Like, what do we have anything to do with the case?
Because regardless, if he went buck when she walked through his door, which accounts showed that he didn't, that's his right. You breaking into my house,
exactly.
Bruh. I can get as buck as I want. And then I could get as high as I want. What you gonna do about it? This my house. On September 24, 2018, Dallas Police Chief Renee Hall announces Geiger has been fired. This is now what? 2 weeks since he shot her? Since she shot him? Sorry. Hall says her decision to terminate Geiger was made after an internal affairs investigation concluded that Geiger engaged in adverse conduct when she fatally shot Botham. Well, she was off-duty cop and shot someone in their home.
That was doing nothing. That danger to nobody or herself. He was at home eating ice cream.
September 26, 2018, the family of Botham sued the city of Dallas for civil rights violations. According to Fox 4 in Dallas, the attorney says the lawsuit will argue that Botham's civil rights were violated when off-duty Dallas police officer Amber Guyger mistakenly went into his apartment and shot and killed him, thinking she was encountering an intruder in her apartment, which was not her apartment. October 17, 2018, in an interview with Jordan Sheraton, Botham's family attorney, Lee Merritt says there are social media posts with Amber bragging about being violent. He said she bragged about being violent, being short-tempered. She bragged about the use of force and spoke out adamantly, against things like kneeling during the anthem, and said the NFL died of colon cancer. That is an obvious reference to Colin Kaepernick.
So she was a known racist.
Yes, and I'm gonna post her tweets and her text messages. There are text messages with her and other white officers where she's like, yeah, I don't understand these black officers. Like, we're not like them. Like, I don't like working with these black officers. Ma, what?
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Excuse me, what?
She was a known racist and she killed a black man.
November 30th, 2018, a Dallas County grand jury indicts Geiger on 1 count of murder. Botham's mother, Allison Jean, states, I truly believe that she inflicted tremendous evil on my son. He didn't deserve it.
He didn't at all.
He felt safe in that apartment. He was violated. On that day, Geiger pleads not guilty. Excuse me, what?
Not guilty. Like, could you imagine being a lawyer and be like, you go plead not guilty? Like,
really, bro?
You know, if you take this to trial, you know what's going to happen, right?
December 30th, 2018. Fox News 4.com reported that Dallas released an extremely small portion of Botham Jean's incident report after an open records request from Fox 4. The incident reports are usually detailed. However, in this case, all but the first 4 sentences were redacted and blacked out. Outside of the offense being listed as manslaughter, the majority of other details were blacked out, including if Geiger was under the influence of alcohol or drugs. On that day, a trial was scheduled for August 12th. So, incident report is basically a police report. Yeah. And if anybody knows anything about law, police reports are public record. Why are you blocking out public record? It's our right as citizens, and it's the right as their family to know detail for detail what transpired. So the fact that only 4 sentences, and the first 4, and if you ever read a police report, the first 4 sentences literally don't matter
at all.
So they redacted and blacked out all the pertinent information that people would need to know. Regardless, the country was in uproar because the man was in his own house and you shot him. Fact. Plain blank, simple. So regardless if you release it blacked out or not, blacking it out is just gonna make us mad.
Yeah,
because you think we're stupid.
Worse. Yeah.
You think we stupid. That's what you're trying to say. January 20th, 2019, a woman who filmed the aftermath of the shooting of Botham claims in an interview that she was receiving death threats and was fired from her job after she uploaded the video to social media. The footage shows an apparently distressed Geiger still in her police uniform, talking on her phone as she paces back and forth outside of Botham's apartment on September 6th. Once again, this will be on the website. You can actually watch the footage. She literally is walking back and forth like she's like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. I thought this was my apartment. I thought this was my apartment. I thought this was my apartment. That's literally what she says.
So why was this lady fired? Like, what does that have anything to do with her job?
Because people hate black people. She was a black woman who recorded a white cop shooting a black man. Well, the aftermath of her shooting a black man.
This is America.
Most likely her boss was on the side of Blue Lives Matter. So it was like, all right, we got you, bruh. You ain't got no more job. But my issue is, regardless from her being fired, that's a problem. My issue is, you're a cop. You are trained after, even if you know the person is a criminal,
yeah,
and you shoot them, you are still supposed to administer life-saving, like, techniques. Why were you outside of the apartment? You know you just shot him. You should have been trying to give him CPR. You should have been putting pressure on the wound. You just let him bleed out and die.
Or like you.
So how sorry were you really?
For like an ambulance or something.
I can't hear you.
I said she at least should have called for an ambulance.
Well, she did, but regardless, why'd you leave him by himself? You clearly acknowledged that this was not your home.
Mm-hmm.
You clearly acknowledged that you killed someone in their own home.
Yeah.
How about trying to save their life? If you're so sorry. April 30th, 2019. The 911 call made by Geiger after she shot Jean is obtained by ABC Dallas station. In the call, Geiger repeatedly tells the dispatcher, I thought it was my apartment, and says, I'm going to lose my job. I've listened to the call myself, and those are the two sentences she keeps saying. I thought it was my apartment. I'm going to lose my job. I thought it was my apartment. I'm going to lose my job. How about the fact that you just killed someone? Who cares about your job right now?
You just killed an innocent man in his own home, and like
your concern is your job. September 23rd, 2019. Geiger's murder trial begins in Dallas. Prosecutor Jason Hermas asked the jury to convict Geiger of murder, saying she gave Botham no opportunity for de-escalation, no opportunity for him to surrender before she opened fire and killed him. Defense attorney Robert Rogers accuses the prosecution of making innocent mistakes into evil acts. He says the only justice
that is evil.
The only justice in this case is to find Amber Guyger not guilty.
Not guilty.
That's not even what pisses me off. The sentence, making innocent mistakes, is not into evil acts. If I hear this sentence one more goddamn time, I'm going to choke someone out.
It's not like...
Because everyone that gives their opinion on this case, oh, I don't think it was malicious, da-da-da-da.
It was
maybe she probably... I'm going to give you the benefit out. Maybe you were disillusioned from working 13 and a half hours. But the moment after you shot them 2 shots, not 1, but 2, and you didn't try to administer life-saving conditions and your only concern was your job, I don't care what anybody else's think. That is evil.
Yeah.
Because there are people who accidentally shoot people all the time, but guess what? Some people actually do. They still try and save them.
Yeah.
There are people who someone's actually broken into their home and they shot them, and they're still trying to save their life because they don't want the blood and the death of somebody else on their spirit.
Yeah.
So yes, her acts are evil.
Evil. Conniving.
September 24, 2019. Jurors are shown the harrowing body cam footage in the courtroom from inside the apartment complex that captured arriving officers' confusion after the shooting. Geiger is seen directing officers to Botham's apartment, telling them, "I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment." At one moment in the video, officers on the scene could be seen taking turns desperately trying to revive Botham as he lay unconscious on his living room floor. Botham Jean's neighbor, Joshua Brown, gives a emotional testimony. I want to play his testimony, but 1 second. I want to go through each point I said. Your whole time while the officers are walking in is, "I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment." Why you ain't got nothing else to say? Why are those the only 2 sentences you know how to say? That "I'm sorry. Oh shit, what can I do? I thought it was my apartment. I'm gonna lose my job."
Not even I fucked up. Nothing like that.
Like, bruh, what? Alright, so I just had Michael listen to Joshua Brown's testimony. For those who haven't seen it, I was gonna play it, but he talks too low in the video, and it's just gonna be too hard for for our mics to pick it up. But it is gonna be available on our website for you to watch it. However, I'm gonna just explain his testimony a little bit. You can clearly see that he's emotional.
Yeah.
To the point where they had to take a break because he started to cry. And there were one, he was scared. There are numerous times, I only showed you a small clip. I didn't show you his whole testimony. His whole testimony is like 30 minutes. But the judge has to constantly tell him to speak up. I also don't like how when the prosecutor's time is to cross-examine him, I don't remember what gender they were, but they try to discredit him because he has had a run-in with the law in the past. Don't like that. And then later when you find out more about Joshua, his family lets people know that he was actually very terrified of testifying, and he actually feared for his life. And we'll bring that up later.
Good reason for that.
But go ahead and give your opinions of what you saw in the video.
So based on what he said about the guy from the little clip I watched. Based on what I seen from the clip I watched, basically he was saying like the guy was like, he was pretty loud. So if you standing outside his apartment or anything like that, you could hear him. So like he wasn't making enough noise that she couldn't hear him in there. Even if the door was unlocked or door was open, I'm pretty sure if you could hear him if the door was open.
Yeah, so they asked him, could you normally hear Botham in his apartment? He said, yeah, I could always hear him listening to gospel music and stuff like that. So, I don't know about y'all, but when I watch a movie, because he was sitting on his couch eating ice cream watching a movie. I listen to my movies very loud. Yeah. So, you can't tell me you did not hear a TV. Your first sign that there was a problem should have been, why is there a TV on?
Yeah, exactly. A burglar is not going to have your TV on. He's trying to take your TV.
And trying to be as quiet as possible. Another thing is, on that day that Botham was murdered, Joshua says he can hear 2 people conversating. And it was a man and a woman's voice. And he says that he can't really tell really what they're saying, but he definitely did not hear police commands like put your hands up and stuff like that.
Exactly.
That Geiger lied and said that she said. That girl ain't say that.
I think their relationship was something deeper, and he did something she didn't like or something. It's crazy.
So, on September 25th, 2019, a Texas Ranger by the name of David Armstrong led homicide investigators on a high-profile case, and he testified without the jury in the courtroom, saying that based on the investigation, he doesn't believe Geiger committed a crime when she shot Botham, and that it was reasonable for her to perceive him as a deadly threat. Judge Kemp refuses to allow Armstrong to state his opinions in front of the jury. So,
time out. You killing a man. It don't even matter what race he is. Like, let's not even think of race right now in this 1 second. You kill somebody, anybody. Don't even got to be a man. You kill anybody in their own home where they're no threat to anybody, and it's not a crime.
My thing, first, how is killing someone not a crime? I thought
exactly.
First degree murder, second degree murder, third degree murder, manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter existed for a reason. It's a crime.
It's not even like self-defense, because like we said, like we've been saying, like everybody knows, he's in his own home.
And if he wanted to get buck, he could.
Exactly. You just enter my home and say, why the fuck you in my house?
Yeah, Who the fuck are you? I'm in my apartment and I hear noises outside. I immediately get my back. I'm ready to swing. You think you just go roll up in my apartment in a cop uniform and I am not about to get buck?
Exactly.
Immediately, everyone knows there's no such thing. You're not allowed to perform illegal search and seizures. So I'm thinking, you about to do some illegal shit in my house. Why are you here?
Exactly. Like my first thought is, who the fuck is you and why the fuck you in my house?
But that wasn't the point I was going to make. The point I was going to make is David Armstrong is a black man. I'm going to say this again. All these black people. What?
Uncle Tom.
Oh. I don't think they could hear you.
Uncle Tom.
He's saying Uncle Tom. You think he's slick. But anyways. I'm going to say this again when I come back to the judge. Y'all had one job, and that was to convict this damn white lady and get her sent to prison for at least 30 years. Y'all had one job. Why y'all couldn't do it?
Well, let us get one win. Let us get one win.
Y'all see all these cases of black people being shot for no reason. You get the one time that there's an indictment and you don't do your job. And I'm gonna say this quote later on. All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Nah, not at all.
So let's move on. On September 26, 2019, Geiger testifies in her own defense, telling the jury of the moment she came face-to-face with Botham after opening the wrong apartment door. I'm going to quote her, "I was scared to death," she testifies, adding to her heart rate just skyrocketed. Overcome with emotion, Geiger breaks down several times on the witness stand, telling the jury, "I'm so sorry. I never wanted to take an innocent person's life." She adds, "I wish he was the one with the gun that killed me." Pause.
Oh, time
Wait, pause. No, I want to go through each point. How are you a cop and you can't handle high stress in situations? You are supposed to be trained to de-escalate. Not just shoot first. That's the first problem. Is y'all cops are becoming cops and y'all don't get the proper training. Because your first step was to ask questions, not shoot first. Next point was, I don't care about your white tears.
At all.
Keep them to yourself. Because when you shot him, you left him bleeding to death. You did not administer life-saving procedures, and your only concern was your job. So guess what? I don't care about your white tears. Keep them to yourself.
And I want to say this. Her saying that he was the one that had the gun.
Of course she would, because he would have been locked up and said they would have threw the book at him, it would have been done. It would have been a wrap.
Man, he'd have got... people would have been calling for the death penalty for this guy.
And Texas is known for throwing out death penalties like it's candy.
And what she got for what she did was ridiculous. And
we're gonna get to that.
If the roles was reversed, it would have been ridiculous.
On September 30th, 2019, the jury begins deliberation. On October... Words, right? On October 1st, 2019, the jury convicts Geiger of murder. So, everyone was so happy.
At first?
We're like, yes, finally, someone is convicted.
At first.
Woo-woo. That's what we thought. Oh, but hold on. Let me reverse a little. Back to the jury deliberations. I'm going to talk about this stupid judge have the nerve to bring up castle doctrine as an option for her defense. 1, why are you offering up defense options? That's not your job. Your job as a judge is to explain the crime, the convictions that she has facing her, and make sure they properly understand the legal codes and what is under them. You're not supposed to add defense options to better her case. If you don't know what castle doctrine is, it is like stand your ground. How you standing your ground in someone else's house. That don't make no type of sense.
No sense at all.
As I said, you are a black judge. You had one job.
One freaking job. See me, I'd have gave it a whole 99.
You had one job and you couldn't even do it right.
The whole 99.
October 2nd, 2019, Geiger is sentenced to 10 years in prison for the killing of Botham. Prosecutors had recommended 28 years, the age Botham would have turned that year. Well, this year, I should say. In an extraordinary moment, Brent Jean, Botham's 18-year-old brother, expressed forgiveness to Geiger and said she should find Christ and asked the judge if he could hug her. The two embraced with Geiger crying and the judge wiping tears from her eyes.
So
I'm not done. But after a jury convicted Geiger of murder on Tuesday, prosecutors introduced text messages sent by the former officer that showed her making offensive statements. In the text, Geiger jokes about Martin Luther King's death, mocks her black colleagues, and discusses a dog that her friend warns may be racist. In her text messages, it says, "It's okay, I'm the same," to the maybe racist. And this was just days before she shot both of them.
Wow. So, I mean, the first thing I want to say is, the brother.
No, we got to talk about the sentencing. You can't jump so fast.
No. Well, the sentencing, first off, like we've been saying the whole time, you're a black judge. She killed a black man. Like, let us get this win right here. Like, what are you doing?
And then let me
finish.
I have to clear this up first because I know people are going to say this. I'm aware that Texas, the juries choose the sentencing. That is not common for other states. However, judges have the right to veto if they do not think it is enough. So therefore, that's how she failed.
Yeah.
Because she could have easily said, I'm not doing that. She's going to be sentenced for more.
Yeah.
10 years is ridiculous. She has a possibility of parole. She's going to be out in 3 years if we want to keep it a buck.
Exactly. And this is part of my personal life. I have a few family members that's locked up right now for the same amount of time that she got for murder. And all they did was rob a store. Nobody got hurt. no weapons was fired, nothing, and they got the same amount of time as this lady got for breaking into this man's house and killing him in cold blood.
There are people that have possession of weed charges and get more time
serving
than
the
that.
same time.
More time than that.
Exactly. And then
10 years with the possibility of parole, which she gets in 5 years, and she probably will be released on the behavior.
She'll be home.
And she's a cop.
Soon. She'll be home very soon.
She's not going in Gen Pop.
Exactly. She's gonna be protected in there.
So no one in the prisons can even whoop ass for a good win for the black folks.
And then let's talk about the brother. My brother. If somebody was to kill my brother like that in cold blood, there's no way in hell I would forgive them. And I wouldn't tell them to find Christ. I wouldn't hug him. If she lucky, I wouldn't punch her. Because, like...
you give me the clearance, I would fake and be like, let me hug her. And I would have then knocked her in her face.
Like, now I see if my brother was a danger to you. Like, he was trying to hurt you, kill you if he... Like I was saying, like, kill you. Like, if my brother was a danger to you and you had defended yourself, that's different. But you killed my brother while he was in his home, minding his business, eating ice cream, watching a movie. There's no way in hell I can forgive you for that. No way in hell. Like, there's no forgiveness in my heart for that. You took my brother. My brother's not coming back. And all you got was 10 years. You'll be home by 2025. That's fucking ridiculous. Like, I mean, I guess he felt like that was the right thing to do, but I don't agree with him on that. And
well, it's not for us to agree with, because everyone agrees in their own way. Bruh, do whatever you want. If that's what you want to do, do it. Me, on the other hand, I'm telling this to my brother and my sister right now, don't you dare let somebody murder me.
Exactly.
And you tell them, I know my sibling. They would want me to forgive you. I will haunt you to the day you die. Bruh.
My brother will be looking down from me in heaven like, man, you lying like shit right now.
Don't you dare. See, that was people are like, you can't judge him. You can't judge him. You can judge him. Make that statement on. If you're gonna make a statement like that, make it on yourself. Like he said he wouldn't speak for the rest of his family, but don't speak on your dead brother. Yeah. Because he can't speak for himself. Yeah. Just say, I forgive you. Because you can do that. That's fine. Do whatever you want. Yeah, exactly. But don't say, I know my brother would want me to forgive you.
You never know what your, like, if the shoe was on the other foot and your brother was the one right there. How you know your brother will forgive her for killing you?
And I just feel like that's too quick a forgiveness, because I've listened to...
It's not years. It's not 20 years from now. It's not 30 years from now.
Like, eventually, I'll be able to forgive you.
I'll never forgive. I would never. Not my brother. I would never forgive.
I would forgive so I don't have hatred in my heart anymore.
I would hate her for the rest of my life. I wouldn't care. Like,
Sheree, I would dislike her, but I wouldn't want to constantly be in a state of hate.
Sheree, like I said, if my brother was attacking her, or my brother broke into her house and was attacking her, that's different.
I know, Michael.
But he was in his house minding his business and she killed him. There's no way I can forgive her for that.
That's you. He can forgive her if he wants to. You're speaking on yourself, but don't speak on him.
I'm not speaking on him. I'm not speaking on him. But me, I would never forgive her, and I will forever hate her.
Because I know...
And I'm not a hateful person.
Because there's a lot of people who've lost people in situations like this. My thing is, it was too quick. Your brother's only been dead for a year.
Exactly.
And because I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about the case. I agree with most of the stuff they said. They was black people, too. But... And they were talking about family members who they lost. My thing is, I'm not going to tell the person who killed my family member that I forgive them. I'm not doing that, because that's going to make you feel at ease. I want you to feel like
the
shit
pain you caused me
for the rest of your life. I want you to feel the hatred, even though I may not have hatred in my heart no more, but I want you to feel like I hate you.
Yeah.
To the day you die.
Like, I want you to know I hate you. Like, I mean, I'm different from a lot of people, and I'm not a hateful person. But if you were to take my innocent brother from me like that, yeah, I would be. Towards you, and only you.
So, now it's time for me to light somebody's ass up. This goddamn judge. I pray that she's listening. How dare you, as a sitting judge that people elect, have the nerve to step down for your goddamn seats and go hug this lady and give her not just any Bible. I found out it was her personal Bible. Her own Bible that she writes notes in. I don't know if you've seen other people's Bibles that are devout Christians, but they actually make notes in their Bibles. They highlight and all this stuff. You gave her your personal Bible and hugged her, and then had the nerve to sit your behind in somebody's interview talking about you don't understand why people are upset. Your job is to be impartial. That is not impartiality. You should be disbarred. Your license should be taken away from you. And then the fact that it came out that you are funded by Dallas Police Station is ridiculous. There was no point in this damn case that you cared about Botham. Not once. You cared about lining your pockets. You cared about getting another election because you're about to get reelected again because you let this white woman slide.
Facts.
How dare you? They need to take your license away and disbar you. You have no right to be a judge.
Like, it was kind of obvious, like, especially when we learned that she was backed by the police, like, something was underhanded. Like,
that's why she turned down the 10 years. She was like, I can't let her go free, but I'm going to let her do a little time so y'all still can fund my campaign. There's a special place in hell for you, and I hope you know that. The devil is waiting for you. And then the bailiff gonna brush the girl hair. All these damn black people. Why?
Let me say something here, right here. Like, and for this moment, I feel like black people should not forgive her. Because
why are black people so goddamn forgiving? I don't understand.
Because our entire existence in this country has been based on forgiveness, forgiving them for things they done to us and things like that. So for black people to just be so forgiving, especially to white people, is ridiculous. Because let a black man would have killed this brother. Ain't no fucking way in hell he'd have sat there and said, "Oh, I forgive you," and hugged that black man for killing his brother.
Let the roles have been reversed.
Oh, they'd have been fucked.
It would have not been no 10 years. He would have gotten life with
no 99.
possibility of parole. The whole book would have been thrown at him. Ain't nobody giving him a hug. Ain't nobody saying, I forgive him. Why are we so forgiving? I'm sick of it. Because don't nobody forgive us
at all
for nothing.
At all.
Well, we ain't do nothing wrong. Why are you so forgiving?
Like I said, our whole existence in this country is based off forgiveness. And it's getting fucking ridiculous at this point because it's always the black people gotta forgive. Why the fuck do we always...
Why we can't be mad? And when we mad, we mad black angry women and mad angry black man. Why we can't be mad? We have a right to be mad. We have all rights to be pissed off in this damn country. Every second, our life is on the line. The moment we step out forget stepping out our doors. We can't even step out our doors no more.
Exactly. He was in the house chilling.
Forget that. I'm talking about the black woman in Dallas weeks later after she got her little light sentence and the cop shot a bullet through the lady window while she was playing PlayStation with her nephew. When the cop was supposed to go do a wellness check. Since when does wellness checks involve guns? Because her neighbor called and was concerned because the door was open. But you shooting a bullet through the window, then kill this lady. I don't understand what's going on in Texas. Why y'all keep killing us in our houses? Why? We could have had one victory And within 24 hours, we lost it. All hope, all faith, all that gone. So I'm just going to finish off with Joshua Brown.
Oh, shit. That was a fucking total assassination, and we all know it.
He was murdered Friday night on the week after Geiger got her little light behind sentence. In Dallas, as I stated earlier, he was the key witness in the murder trial, and he was shot fatally outside his apartment. Brown was 28 years old. He lived across the hall from Botham, who was 26. Brown helped the prosecution piece together the events of Botham's murder that ultimately led to Geiger's conviction. Brown was found dead on the ground in the parking lot of an apartment complex Friday night with multiple gunshot wounds to his lower body. He was taken to the hospital where he died from his injuries. He testified that on his way from watching a football game on the night of Botham's death, he heard an exchange between two people who both seemed surprised while in the hallway of his building. Right after the exchange, he said he heard two quick gunshots. When asked by prosecutors if he could make out the words Geiger and Botham exchange, Brown said no. When questioned, he said he did not hear any police commands from Geiger, such as put your hands up. He said on a witness stand that he initially ran away when he heard Geiger's gunfire and made his way back to his apartment a few moments later. Once in his apartment, Brown said he could see Geiger crying and walking back and forth in the hallway. She was on the phone explaining she had entered the wrong apartment. Brown also testified that he saw Geiger re-enter Botham's apartment. Brown said he and Jean met for the first time the day he was murdered, when there was a noise complaint against them. And I mentioned he is one of the people who mentioned how he went to the wrong floor and he easily realized he was on the wrong floor because the decor on the floor was different.
Yeah.
In an interview with Today, a lawyer who represented Botham's family is now working with Brown's relatives because, and his family stated that while he was working with the trial, he feared for his life. So, I don't care what anyone says. It was a state-sanctioned murder. Because right after the criminal trial, there's going to be a civil trial to sue the state and the police department for millions, which they deserve. And he was going to be a witness in that as well. And the fact that the police department was able to solve his murder within 2 days and say that his murderers drove from Louisiana to Dallas and it was a drug deal gone bad is utter foolishness. Ain't nobody driving from Louisiana to Dallas for no weed. Ain't nobody doing that.
Exactly.
It's most likely that the police paid off these men to kill him. And one more thing I wanted to say that I found out was that, I don't know how accurate it is, but it was released that Geiger's attorneys are trying to get her case dismissed and her sentence dismissed because now Brown is dead. So they're trying to reverse the conviction.
Ridiculous, man. But this is America, though.
Do you have anything to say about Joshua Brown before we close out?
So, to my understanding, right, they pulled up his history with the law, right? Mm-hmm. So they killed him and basically just pulled up his history and probably past convictions. It's like, oh yeah, he's a known drug user or drug dealer.
Oh, so another thing. I guess a year ago or so, his friend got shot. He was there, So they're trying to say that the people that shot his friend were coming after him, and that's why he was afraid. But I feel like they would have been got him if they wanted to. They ain't waiting a year. If you really want somebody dead, trust and believe, you gonna get them.
You gonna get them.
They shot him at a club. Clearly, they shot his friend at a club the year ago. Clearly, Joshua didn't stop going out, because the day that both of them got killed, he came from a bar. You could have found him anywhere. So I don't believe.
Oh, they shot him in the club. Obviously, the people who shot his friend didn't know where he lived at.
Yeah. So, well, they did release the apartment during the trial. That's how I found it out.
Police killed that man.
I still believe the police killed him.
We all know that.
Any other statements?
No, because this case is really pisses me off.
It made me really sad, and it doesn't help that we're drinking. We're just gonna close this out. If you want to look at the videos from the trial, you want to look at any evidence, her text messages and stuff like that, visit fatalcrimeconfessions.com and click on the episodes tag.
FCC.
I know. Follow us on Instagram at Fatal Crime Confessions, and follow us on Twitter at Fatal Crime. To stay in touch with anything we got going on. And thanks. This was a long episode.
And you're always welcome to DM us on our social media sites as well.
Yeah, I would love to hear your feedback on this case. And yeah, this is our longest episode to date. It was an hour. And
no wonder.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Fatal Crime Confession podcast. Check back next week for a new episode. You can also find us at fatalcrimeconfessions.com or on Instagram at Fatal Crime Confessions. Please subscribe, rate, and comment to express how much you love the content. Thank you.